Good afternoon, Adam here. It's a little bit of a different video today. I'm just filming on my cell phone. I wanted to show off a little thing I've been working on for the last month or so. I decided to do a small freshwater tank, and just for your fun and entertainment, here's the 150 saltwater that I'm about to do a water change on. But I'm not here today to talk about saltwater. I'm here to talk about freshwater. So I have decided to do a 20-gallon shrimp tank. And, most people on YouTube will talk about sort of budget options. I'm unfortunately well acquainted with the expense of saltwater tanks, so freshwater, even, smaller scale, comes across as fairly cheap in comparison. So I decided to, if I was going to do a freshwater tank, do something a little bit different, to spare no expense, get exactly what I wanted to get, regardless of whether or not it's the budget or economical option. So I've been mixing and matching, so I thought I would just show it off real quick. It's currently cycling. I added some quick start a couple days ago. Gonna cycle for about, a week or so, depending on when the shrimp finally come in. So it's just in the cycling process. I thought it'd be kind of nice to just take a quick video before I added any plants or shrimp. And there's gonna be some small, I'm gonna do some Galaxy Rasboras, or I guess they're Celestial Rasboras, or what do they call them? Celestial Pearl Danios. I think they're known by either name. So I'm gonna quickly talk through what I've got here. I sort of bottom to top, just to give you an idea as to what the system is. So I got it's a BioCube stand from, is it Cora Life, I believe? So it's specifically designed for their 29-gallon cube system. I didn't like their tank, but I really like the stand. So it's just this nice sort of synthetic, and it's got some nice shelves. So I had to put it together myself, which was sort of entertaining. It was missing these little strike plates, so I had to get them to mail some extra ones to me. But overall, pretty nice. And it really fits in this corner in my study. And I thought it would match the aquarium quite well. So the aquarium is a 20-gallon all-in-one. It's got a sticker. Water box. So it's the all-in-one system. I don't know how well this is going to pick up, but it's got the built-in filter sock holder, and then we've got some biological media, bio balls, some filter sponge, and then a return pump over on this side. And we're getting some nice shimmer on the water from the breaking at the surface tension to get some nice oxygen exchange. This water box has always been one of my favorite brands. I knew that if I was going to do a small tank, I was going to do a water box. So I like the low iron glass. I mean, look how beautiful it looks. I mean, I think the glass is by far the most important thing you can get. It's very expensive for a 20-gallon all-in-one. I think it was $280, $289, something like that. But I think it's totally worth it. If you don't love how the glass looks, I think your overall enjoyment of the tank is just going to be a lot lower. This really is living art. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Fish tank is living art. If it's not beautiful to you, then you're probably not going to enjoy it enough to maintain it. So that's the overall tank. And then these lights are, I don't know if I'm going to get a good shot of these, but it's a Twin Star 450S, as I believe the one it is. It's the one with the multi, it's not just white spectrum, it's got some blue spectrum in there as well. It's better for growing plants. I'm going to run it low tech to start with. I'm not going to run CO2 to begin with. I may at some point change that over to a CO2 system, but I did not want to learn how to do a CO2 system while also acclimating and getting used to running a shrimp tank, because shrimp are so sensitive to pH changes. I didn't think that was going to be a good combination of learning experiences all at the same time. So I decided to put that off for now. I'll just run more low-tech plants, but I have a good enough light that even if the CO2 levels are not quite up to where they should be for high growth, it should be good enough with the sufficient amount of light. So I really think the light looks nice. It's got a built-in, let's see if I can show it. Anyway, it's got a dimmer on there, so you can adjust the brightness. I want to say this is only about a third of the way up, which is plenty for right now. So then for substrate, it's about 2.5 inches of inert, and I can't remember the name. but it's a black inert substrate, very highly regarded for Neocaridina shrimp, so I decided to go with that. And then I've got some spiderwood, which is mounted on a base, which you can't really see, but it's got a glued down to a piece of stone to keep it from wandering off. So 2 pieces of nice spiderwood, and then I have is it dragonstone? I guess is what that's called, the multicolored dragonstone. And then I have some slate or shale, one or the other. I'm bad with names, but it's the non-calcium sort of flat shelving rock. Obviously no calcium, because they'll react with the water, mess with the pH. We don't want that. So for the water, I am doing I'm using RODI water and remineralizing it up to about 200 TDS, which is pretty standard for Neocaridina, because I'm going to be doing some blue Neocaridinas, and then the Danios, and no heater, so I keep this room at about 72, so that's a pretty comfortable temperature for both the fish and the shrimp. So I thought it would just be sort of fun to show you what I'm doing with this. It's going to be a lot easier to maintain than the saltwater. Obviously, it's so much smaller. It sort of threw me off when I was filling it up. With all the sand and stone and everything in here, this 20-gallon tank, it's I guess 18 by 18 by 18, only holds about 9.5 gallons of water. This sand is probably too deep. So they say you really need 2 to 3 inches for planted aquariums. I think it's too deep. I may end up shallowing it out a bit after some period of time to see if the plants will grow in slightly shallower, because I think it looks a little out of proportion. But it'll probably look really good once the root systems get down into the sand. You can see it, and there's just plants everywhere. I haven't decided on the plants, so I'm just going to sort of do it as I go. Maybe some sword plants in the back, some sort of moss on parts of the spiderwood, and some really easy, I don't know, some sort of floating plant, which I guess I'll show all that off once I add it in. I'm most interested in the shrimp. Shrimp's going to be the most fun part for me. So the rest of it is obviously to enhance the beauty, but I'm not quite as focused on. I mean, I really think that if you get good decoration with the rocks and wood, which I think looks fantastic. You know, it's my first freshwater aquascape. Obviously, a rule of thirds. The back center is the tallest, and then the front one is about the same height as the one on the right. And then you get a little bit sticking out of the water. And I ordered a custom lid, which will sit on the rim to keep the Danios from jumping out. Nothing makes me more irritated than jumping fish. I'm willing to pay a good bit extra to avoid that. Plus, it'll reduce the amount of evaporation. I mean, it'll hinder the gas exchange a little bit, but with the small bioload I'm going to have in here, plus the plants that are going to be going to work on the CO2 in the water, I don't think that's going to be an issue. So yeah, I just thought I'd show this off really quick. Primary focus on this channel is going to remain saltwater. Not that I post that often. I mean, I really just do update videos. If I get more into the freshwater, I'll do more freshwater content. If I just have this one freshwater tank, then that's cool too. But I guess sort of next on my list is to hopefully do an update video on the saltwater, which looks really good right now. I'll just do a quick run by just for your entertainment. Some of you guys may not care. If you're freshwater only, you don't need to watch. The fish are all looking nice and healthy. The Montiporas are really starting to grow back again after the move. And really, it's just hard to complain. You know, and I know it doesn't pick up good on the cell phone. This Frammer right here is an insane coral. It's so healthy. I love these Duncans too. You see the fish that I'm gonna feed them. So yeah, I just haven't had much to talk about this tank because I haven't really made any changes. You can see that there's some growth on the, all the SPS are growing a decent amount. And actually that's the best these Xenia have looked in probably 6 months. They've looked sort of half dead. I've increased feeding, so. Anyway, this is not a saltwater video, it's a freshwater video. But I can't do a video without showing off this tank. Still love this tank. I haven't really made any equipment changes. So it's just sort of ticking along and I'm just enjoying it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.